Okay, I'm going to demonstrate a SQL Server migration assistant for Oracle. I will migrate the HR schema from Oracle 19C to SQL Server 2017. So this is my SQL Server database. I don't have, this is my SQL Server instance. I don't have a HR database. I'm just going to create one. So I have a HR database in SQL Server with nothing in present. There's no tables. Okay, there's no schema, nothing. So now I start off my SQL Server migration assistant as a new project. My target is SQL Server 2017. So I connect to my Oracle instance. It's a pluggable database. I connect with the account that has privileges on the database. So I don't want all the objects. I just want only the HR schema. So I select only the HR schema. So here you can see at the bottom it's loading all the definitions of tables, views, procedures, sequences, synonyms, everything. It's going to take a bit of time, but if your database is fast and there are not too many objects, it should be quick enough. So it also relies on some of the standard PL/SQL code. So let me look at the HR schema I have in my Oracle database. It shows that I have some procedures. So this is the Oracle code for the stored procedure. I have some tables. Region ID column in the countries table is defined as a number without precision and scale. So later we're going to see what the problem it is created by it. This is the SQL for defining the table and the constraints on it. Similarly, you could look at job history. Okay, here department ID, employee ID properly have precision and scale. So we're not going to have any issues with them. There is a view. The view has been defined as with read only. So this is also not going to work in SQL Server. You don't have a concept of with read only in SQL Server. So these are all my objects in Oracle. 2 procedures, 7 tables, 1 view. Now I connect to my SQL Server instance. I've already got a database defined MyHRDB because I tested it earlier. So now it's loading objects into the HR database. So this is my HRDB. Right now there is nothing being created from my source Oracle to SQL Server. So you can see there's no tables yet. Okay, so there's nothing yet. Now I'm going to try to map all my Oracle objects to my SQL Server database. So these are all the existing schemas, but I don't have an HR schema right now. So I go back to HR in Oracle. I can first create a report which shows me what would happen if I were to do the mapping. So it shows me all the conversion. So in the overview it shows there will be 3 objects with warnings. It gives me a list of all the different object types and numbers with warnings or errors. I can drill down here. This is my add job history. This is the Oracle code, and on the right side you can see the SQL Server code for that procedure. There's nothing here, so there's no errors in this procedure. Similarly, if I look at tables, for countries there is an error. There's a warning because I told you the number data type is used without precision and scale. So we're going to have a problem with that. Views, AMP details view is defined as with read only. So SQL Server is going to give me a warning. With read only cannot be converted. That attribute cannot be converted. So this is a report that is generated by the migration assistant. You can save this report and review it later. You can see the warnings with read only for the view, and conversion from number data type will give you can cause data loss. So let me go back to the migration assistant. I'll just open the error list pane also. So this is the output for the report generation. Now I'm going to try to convert the schema. So it gives me some warnings here. If I look at the error list, again the same error list, number, data type. There was somewhere where it added a unique index or row ID, and somewhere where the view with read only cannot be converted. So these are the warnings. Fortunately, there is no error, it's only warnings. So I can proceed with the migration. So what I can do is I can first go back to this HR and say I want to save this HR definition. So I save it as a script. And then if I look at the script that I have saved, so this is the sequences, tables, and then the constraints after the tables, indexes, view, and store procedures. So this is the Oracle code that it has extracted from my source database. Then I must also look at what SQL Server code I would get. So I go back to my HR schema in SQL Server and say save as script. So if I look at my HR schema in SQL Server, so it's going to use my HRDB and it's going to run all this to recreate the objects in SQL Server to map from Oracle. So it's going to create tables, it's going to create procedures, everything, but this is SQL Server code. So this is a useful utility where you can actually look at Oracle code, compare it with your SQL Server code. Maybe you want to make some changes to the code, you want to make some changes to the data types, you can do all that. So this is a very long, so you can see the employees table has precision and scale for employee ID and manager ID. So if I were to look for the countries table, I can look for the countries table as well. SSMA is what it's actually using to generate all this code and create the objects. So here you can see for countries table, it's giving me a warning for the region ID that will be converted to a float in SQL Server. So I've generated the scripts. I can run the script in SQL Server to create the objects, or you could go and modify the scripts if I want to change the data types properly, to change or optimize the code. So first I'll just show you something here. Okay. So right now I still don't have any objects in my SQL Server database. I'm going to open a new pane in my SQL Server Management Studio. Open my script file and I'm going to execute this. So it's going to create everything in the my HRDB database. Give me some errors. This is on the HR secure DML. It will be created and then it can be used later once the object exists. So this is the error message here, warning message here, because dependency wasn't properly built earlier. So now if I look at tables, I can see all my HR tables are created. I can look at the design. So countries, region ID became float. I told you because it was defined as number. But if I look at employees, employee is properly defined with precision and scale. Now you can see here employee ID do not allow nulls, right? So you can see allow nulls is also properly mapped here, and it has automatically created another unique identifier for row ID. Let's look at the department IDs. It also shows me where the primary key is defined. I can look at the constraints, indexes here. You can see the indexes. So So for employees, I can look at the indexes here. So all the indexes that have been created in the employees table. So this is in SQL Server. The data has been the tables have been created, but there is no data right now. So now I'm going to use the migration assistant to load the data. So you go back to the pane, the Oracle HR pane, and in SQL Server my HR schema. So that's what I'm selecting here, and I say migrate data. So it's just going to reconfirm the connections, and it's going to do the data migration for the current project. So now you can see for all the tables how many rows have been migrated. It doesn't show actually that it has migrated stored procedures or views, but it just shows me tables and number of rows. I can save this as a report. So if I look at the report, here you can see the source table and the target table. My HRDB, HR schema, jobs table name. Okay, and how long it took, and if there's any errors. Now we already know there's no errors. There were only warnings for some of the tables, like countries, which is where the region ID is mapped to a float instead of a number with precision and scale. I can go back into my migration assistant and actually view the data now. Now that data is loaded. So again, when I click on the table, it shows me the mapping between Oracle and SQL Server, the SQL statement, and I can look at the data in Oracle and the data in SQL Server. Look at the employees table. So the data in Oracle and the data in SQL Server. Remember, this query does not do an order by. So there is no order by specifically by employee ID. It just shows you all the rows it is retrieving. But that's good enough. We can later on go and verify the data ourselves. We know it has already shown that 100% of the rows are properly migrated. So this is the SQL statements for creating the table. Let's look at the view, how it got created. So the view with read only did not get created. So it to give me a warning with the read only, but the rest of the view definition has been created. Similarly, procedures got created. Okay. If I go into my management studio, I can look at the so here I can see the procedures got created. I'll just put it into a query window and you can see. Okay, so this is the procedure that got created here. So, and it shows me what are the parameters for that procedure as well. So you can migrate your database objects from Oracle to SQL Server. You have to be careful about things like data type mapping. You have to be careful about some of the constraints of some of the data types that may not be supported. So you can first test this out with a test schema and then go and do a migration. Obviously, when I'm doing from my management studio, from my migration assistant and using management studio, it's a very small schema and a very small database. It didn't take much time to migrate the data. It didn't take much time to so here you can see it took hardly a minute to migrate the data, but if you have a large database and many objects, it will take time to map all the objects and do the data migration. But that's a very useful tool in SQL Server. It's called the SQL Server Migration Assistant for Oracle. So it can map from Oracle to SQL Server, and it's very useful when you want to compare your Oracle code and the corresponding SQL Server code. Like this procedure, I can see what the SQL Server code that gets generated for it and the parameters that get generated.